listeners are going to be people kind of in that space that are either starting businesses, scaling businesses. We also have quite a few like financial advisors. We've got like some financial publishing companies, med spas, medical companies, things like that. So really kind of anybody that's in that space where they are starting a company or have started a company and they're looking to grow is going to be the audience that we'll be speaking to.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. And you guys make your money from podcast listeners, that sort of thing?
No, we the podcast we don't make any money from at all. I mean, I'm sure they get some kickback, but we make our money because we have our closers.io consulting side, like business consultancy, where we bring on people, we work with them, we do trainings, things like that. The podcast is just something we do as a like it helps us get more exposure because we're out there. We've got business owners coming on talking with us, right? We've had some like had I had on the other day this guy who trains like NASA astronauts how to communicate better and stuff like that. So we try and get a good mix of people from all different types of businesses that they started, kind of to almost to humanize the experience, right? Because it seems like so many people are struggling with the same thing and they don't realize it. So it kind of like makes it like, oh, like this is something that other people go through, this is what I can go through as well, etc. So
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's very helpful. I know a lot of businesses do podcasts to help get additional business, and I think it's a very clever idea. So,
yeah, we leave that as like as an organic thing. Like if we were to go through the podcast and there was like something that I was like, hey man, like I would recommend trying this, like whether you work with us or not, and it ended up being a partnership, cool, that's great. But if we get off the podcast and you're in a good spot, then I'm not ever gonna even say like, oh, you should work with us or anything like that. I would just say, hey man, I'm glad you're doing well.
yeah.
Kick it. So
Okay.
cool. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. So this will be like 20-minute recording is the goal. We're gonna go your background, your kind of like your story, what made you start your business, and then we'll kind of go into like business issues that it's gonna be more so like the problems that you have with scaling and like what you're doing to fix them. And then the last thing we'll touch on is gonna be whatever like words of advice you want to give at the end of the podcast to drop people in, or to drop people like thoughts, etc. Like kind of leave your mark on the listeners, if you will.
Okay. Last little bit there. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll tell you when I say like, okay, we're gonna get to the lightning round. There's three questions. We'll go back to back to back of just like advice you give people.
Okay.
So,
Perfect.
okay, and then just to make sure that I've got pronunciation, everything correct on here, Blake Gale, right? That's just easy enough on that. And then it's Blazon is the name of the company.
Yeah. Blaze On is the name.
Blazon. Okay, that's what I want to check. Okay.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and hit record. Let's jump into this.
Sounds good.
Recording in progress.
Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast by closers.io where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Jet Boardman, and in each episode, we'll uncover the stories behind successful startups, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future expansion. Today, we're excited to have Blake Gale, the founder and owner of Blazon, joining us. Blake's going to be sharing his founding story with us, giving us a glimpse into his plans for future growth. So, Blake, let's jump right in. Welcome to Founders Future.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
we're excited to have you on. So let's just go right to the beginning. Can you take us back to what problem you saw that made you want to start Blazon?
Yeah, so the biggest thing is there's so many Amazon sellers out there, and a lot of them were looking for support in the Amazon space, and there just wasn't businesses that really provided that support, right? So I actually worked for an agency that was supporting a lot of those businesses, and it kind of started out with me being an employee of theirs, working for them, and ultimately I became their number one account manager. I was the one constantly getting, the rewards and saying, "Hey, great job, pat on your back," right? And I was doing a lot of business for them. I was bringing in over $300,000 a month worth of business for them, and I was just getting paid very little. So that's kind of how my story started. And so I started pulling on accounts on the side and decided, hey, I'm able to replace my income here pretty quickly. So let me step into this with both feet and run. So I was able to replace my income within the 2 months and of leaving that job, and Blazon has taken off since.
Great, great. Well, walk us through your offer evolution. I mean, you started off back in 2019, right? So 5 years plus in business now. How has what you started with changed to what you do now?
Yeah, so a lot of things has changed. As any Amazon seller knows, the platform is constantly changing, right? So there
Mm-hmm.
are things that we used to do that we don't do anymore, but there's actually a lot more things that we do now that we didn't offer previously. So some of the big things were like content creation, AI, management. There's a lot that's going into the Amazon platform that most agencies don't provide services for. So we step in, we take a look at everything you can do as an Amazon seller and do it all. We do literally everything except for customer service and inventory level management, which obviously makes sense for brands to take care of.
Got it. Okay, so you're always adapting. Even now, you're still changing your offer as the platform changes.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, the platform's changing because Amazon, and we have another competitor of Amazon, Walmart, that's really kind of stepping up a bit, and so we're
Hmm.
adding Walmart to our services as well.
Got it. Got it. Well, you mentioned some of your background already, but can you walk us through like your background kind of overall that led you to launching this and how specifically that influenced your approach to launching Blazon?
Yeah, so my background before launch or getting into the Amazon space was I would actually get involved in a lot of these like MLMs. I'm from Utah. There's a
Mm,
ton of them out there, right? And they sell that dream of, building a passive income and that sort of
hmm.
thing. And so I jumped into that, but it taught me a lot of good lessons. One of the biggest lessons was putting yourself out there and just try to do your best. Put your best foot forward, and you will fail. You will most definitely fail, but at the same time, you will learn how to be successful. And so by doing that, it helped me how to communicate to people, put myself in their shoes. It taught me how to sell. It taught me how to say, "Hey, guess what? Well, I'm going to put myself out there and whatever happens happens, but I'm going to do the best I can." So that has helped me to move into business role of being able to sell more business, talking to brands, communicating better, understanding where they're coming from, and understanding that if you get a no, it's fine. It happens. You can't
Hmm.
always get yeses. You will get a ton of no's before you get a yes.
Right. Right. I mean, that's huge, right? Getting a ton of no's before you get a yes is a big part of business. That actually kind of goes into the next thing I was even gonna ask you. Many founders face a moment where they almost gave up. Did you have one, and how did you push through it?
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, I had my moment uh, like about a month and a half, 2 months ago. So we accelerated in 2024. We improved by over 50%, set new goals to reach 5 million this year. And then at the beginning of the year, we lost a lot of business because 2024
Mhm.
was very difficult for a lot of the clients that we
Right.
service. Not necessarily with Amazon, but just their businesses as a whole. So they had to make cuts. They had to do layoffs and they cut agencies and whatnot. So unfortunately, we lost a lot of business at the beginning of the year, and it was enough business for me to say, okay, this is pretty frustrating. This is pretty hard. Um, it's devastating. I've heard many business owners feel like their business is either life or death, right? Either it's
Hmm.
growing and things are happy and great, or if things start to slow down, things get, you start feeling like, oh, the company's going to die. So I really
Right.
started to feel like that. And what helped me was reflecting back on my previous goals of like, oh, if I could reach $30,000 a month, if I could reach $40,000 a month, and we're well above that. So even with all those losses. And so it helped me understand like this is where we were. Um, or like this is the height that we were at, and I had all these previous goals, but even with all this loss, we're still above, you know, what I was 2 years ago. So I'm very, very happy with the company, and that really helped me to look at what we're doing, make changes, had to do some things internally in order to compensate for the loss of business. But
Hmm.
yeah, that was a struggling time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's an incredible way to approach it, right? And you talked, or like I said already, you talked earlier about like getting a lot of no's. It almost sounds like you just were prepared for it when it came. You took those as your no's and kept moving forward to get the yeses. So,
Yeah, exactly. And the positive thing, a lot of these brands, right, we're so happy, very positive, feedback we got from all of our clients, very happy with our services. And like, we'll come back. Like, we'll definitely come back when the time's right. So,
yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, kind of stepping into talking about Blazon, what's one misconception people often have about your industry that you'd like to address?
so biggest one is you'll see ads on social media about building this passive income on Amazon. And if you click on the links, it'll take you to a business page. You schedule a call or whatever, and they'll say, if you invest 25 grand or $30,000 into, our business, we'll find you a product to sell on Amazon, and it'll be a passive income stream for you. 95% of those are scams.
Hmm.
We've talked
Hmm.
to way too many people that have been in that space saying, yeah, I have an Amazon account. I paid all this money for this inventory and I'm trying to sell it on Amazon. And we dive into it and we look into it and there's no margin there. Like any sale that they get with that product, they're already upside down. So that's a big common misconception that a lot of people they think selling on Amazon is a simple way to make passive income. It's not. You really got to do a lot of product research and develop something that customers are going to purchase that aren't just like, oh, it's just another one of these.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Well, let's kind of talk about Blazon specifically. Can you walk us through how your business generates revenue today? I mean, do you have a core offering? Do you customize it? How do you price things out? Just like, how do you decide what is best for a customer?
Yeah, so we have a monthly retainer plus a commission of growth, so off of gross sales. So if a brand is doing $100,000, right, we jump in, we have our monthly retainer, and so anything above $100,000, we get a commission off of that.
Hmm.
Um, the pricing, that monthly retainer does fluctuate based on the client's needs. So if they need advertising, obviously that's additional cost. If they need Walmart, that's additional cost. If they just want account management, Amazon management, that's a lower cost, right? And it's all based on the client's needs and how big, how many number, however many number of SKUs they have, right? How big their business
Right.
is. So
Right.
for a brand that has 10,000 SKUs, we're going to charge a lot more than a brand that has like 5 SKUs, right?
Got it. Got it. So when we're talking about like acquiring customers, right? Because you're talking about size of business, things like that. How do you currently find the type of customers you want to work with? Is there an ICP, right? An ideal type of client, or is it just anyone who has the store?
So we definitely have an ICP. We do It's not as specific as it needs to be. There's just a number of types of companies that we just don't work with. For example, there's a lot of companies that want to start launching on Amazon doing like a supplement. But if you look at the numbers and the data on Amazon, launching a supplement on Amazon is very, very difficult. So any brand that's new to the market doing supplements, we just don't do. But
Mm,
everybody else, yeah, we do have an offering. Most agencies do not have an offering for small businesses that are doing less than $100,000 a year, even less than $50,000 a year, right? But we do. We have a business, or we have a pricing structure that is compatible with these businesses, and so we're able to work with them um, and
mm.
grow them at scale. So.
Got it. Got it. And so for you, like with the sales process, are you still attached to the sales process? Do you have a team? Like, what does that process look like from initial contact to they become a client?
Yeah, so we do have a sales team. We're doing a number of things now to generate more warm leads. Once the client expresses some sort of interest, we jump on a screen share call with them and we go over their needs, right? I found that selling accounts is the best thing to do is putting yourself in their shoes, right? What
Hmm.
are their needs? What are their problems? What are they struggling with? What exactly can we do for them to improve and resolve their issues, right? As soon as we can solve that, then it's a matter of just, does this fit your budget, yes or no?
Hmm. Got it. And so you get on this call, you said you have a sales team. I mean, are you involved on the final steps of it, or are you pretty much oversight at this point?
So I am involved depending on the account size. If it's a
Mhm.
larger business, I definitely want to be involved. But smaller businesses will have, our sales rep can definitely take care of those, no problem.
Got it. Got it. So for you, what is the biggest bottleneck to growth right now?
Biggest bottleneck right now is lead generation. So there are a lot of Amazon agencies that are popping up all over the place, but they typically sell first and then figure out their services later. We've figured out our service. We are a premium service. And so we haven't really done a lot of marketing in the last 5 years. So this is really the first year that we've really been doing more marketing, doing cold email outreaches, that sort of thing. And so the more leads right now, the better for us. We're ready to scale.
Mhm. Got it. Got it. So it's really just about lead generation, warm leads that fit what you're looking for.
Exactly.
Got it. Got it. So, Kind of moving along that vein, right? What are your top priorities for growing Blazon in the next 6 to 12 months? You mentioned a huge goal, I think you said 5 million a year,
Mhm.
correct?
Yep.
So is that like the top priority for you, or what was the top priority at at this point?
So top priority for me is all of our content. Um, we are starting to produce more content, do videos, and really start trying to build a community around Blazon in order to have a stronger presence out there in the ethos of Amazon sellers. So
Mm,
right now, most sellers don't know all these different things that you can do on Amazon, and so we're going to start sharing that on our different platforms and pushing things in social media and LinkedIn and whatnot.
right. Okay. Okay, cool. So I mean, is there anything besides like a revenue target you guys are shooting for? Is it like, do you look for number of clients you have on board, recurring clients, or anything like that?
Yeah, our goal in regards to retention is 2 years. Right now, we're sitting at 19 months, which is huge in our space. The average in the industry is 3 to 6 months, and so that's our biggest message is we are maintaining clients for 2 years. So we want to add an additional 4 months to our retention.
Cool. Very cool. So, kind of going into a hypothetical, if you had unlimited resources, meaning people, money, not an issue, right? Unlimited resources, what would you implement or change immediately to accelerate your growth?
Immediately, I would launch additional warm lead operations. So if that's hiring agencies or cold calling, cold emails, I'd also invest in marketing, do a lot more content creation. I'd probably want to start my own podcast and generate, you know, a channel there for sellers to listen to and get, the answers they're looking for.
Okay. Very cool.
Mhm.
Cool. Well, kind of moving into the future, right? I mean, how do you see your industry evolving in the coming years, and how are you positioning Blazon for that future?
Yeah, so the industry that we're in, Blazon is very unique in our offering. We are a premium service compared to our competitors. And so we are playing the long game, right? Right now,
Mhm.
there's a lot of agencies on this churn and burn model, but we are on the long term, work with us for a long term. Um, and the reason why our clients are sticking around with us is because we are providing a wide variety of services, right, for the Amazon seller.
Mhm.
Um, and so the future of Amazon is a little concerning right now in regards to tariffs. There's a lot of Chinese sellers that are jumping on, knocking off, U.S. branded products. So even if the product is sourced from overseas, there's a lot of, Chinese sellers jumping on the platform. So a number of businesses are losing revenue on Amazon because they don't have the right patents in place. They don't have the right things in place to protect them from these sort of things.
Right.
And so Blazon is seeing this. We are seeing this, and we are partnering with the right IP companies in order to get the patents that these brands need, the protection that they need in order to maintain their business.
Got it. Got it. So besides, I mean, we've talked about lead flow, we've talked about kind of just quality, but is there anything else that's preventing you from scaling faster? And if so, how are you addressing those challenges?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that's preventing us from scaling faster is just lead generation, right? If we were able to get more leads, get more sales calls, the sky's the limit at that point.
Hmm.
So, and that's what we're starting to see already. We've implemented a number of things from the beginning of the year, and I mean, we've had a number of sales calls. We're improving our conversion rate. So,
So just get more people to find out about you.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Repost this podcast, clip it, put it out there so people find out about you.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
love it. I love it, man. Cool. All right, cool. Well, let's go ahead and jump into what we call the lightning round. Three questions for you to kind of leave your mark on the listeners. Number one, what's one tool or resource that's been a game changer for you in your business?
LinkedIn with Dripify. So that was very beneficial. Just getting something set up to just do cold outreaches through LinkedIn. We've generated
Hmm.
a number of leads from that already, and it's something that's very cheap and expensive. You can automate it, and it's something I should have done a long time ago.
So Dripify, LinkedIn plus
Dripify.
Dripify.
Yep.
Okay, great. All right. Second one, what's the best piece of advice you've received about scaling a business?
Best piece of advice would be hiring the right people. I've heard that time and time again. Um, but I've learned that more and more since trying to scale this business. If you have the right people in place, they will do the things that you need, and they'll go above and beyond for the business, and that's exactly what will help you scale.
Great. Great, great. Last one for you. What advice would you give to founders who are just starting their journey?
Don't give up and stay consistent. Most founders will take time off, or they'll start doing something incredible and then they'll stop doing it for a little bit and they say, yeah, I need to do that again. It's just like going to the gym. Just keep going. Just show up. Make it happen. Even if it's not a crazy good workout, just keep going.
Just keep going. I love it.
Keep going.
Okay, great. Well, I appreciate you coming on, Blake. That's going to wrap up our time. Thank you so much for being on. It's been great having you, man. Great to talk to you and great to have your insights.
Yeah, thank you, Jet.
Awesome. And to our listeners, if you've enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. You can also find more resources at Closers and insights at closers.io, where we're dedicated to helping businesses accelerate their sales and marketing efforts through world-class systems and playbooks. Until then, keep climbing, and we'll see you on the next one.
Recording stopped.
Okay, great. How was that for you, man?